Most people believe that becoming a millionaire is a feat reserved for the genetic lottery winners, the Silicon Valley elite, or those who inherited a diversified real estate empire. They look at their monthly paycheck, subtract their rent, their car payment, and their groceries, and they see a seven-figure net worth as an unreachable summit, a mountain guarded by a gate of high-entry salaries that they simply don't possess. But the math tells a different, much more provocative story. If you earn a standard American salary, the path to $1 million portfolio isn't about hustling until you burn out or gambling on the next viral meme coin. It is about understanding a specific set of financial levers that the wealthy use to decouple their time from their income. It's about moving away from the labor for capital model and entering the capital for growth model. Building wealth on a modest income isn't a miracle. It's a rigorous engineering problem. Today, we're going to strip away the noise and the TikTok get-rich-quick fantasies. We're breaking down the exact step-by-step blueprint to reach $1 million starting from absolute zero, using nothing but a median income and a disciplined framework. We aren't going to talk about saving money on lattes or cutting out Netflix. That is small-minded thinking. Instead, we're going to focus on the cold, hard mechanics of wealth acceleration, tax arbitrage, and asset allocation. By the end of this video, you will understand that your current salary is not a ceiling. It is a powerful tool of production. If you know how to wield it, $1 million isn't just a possibility. It becomes a mathematical inevitability. Before we build, we have to understand why most people fail. The real obstacle isn't the economy, and it isn't the tax man, though they certainly play their parts. The real obstacle is the income asset trap. From the moment we enter the workforce, we are conditioned to trade our most valuable, non-renewable resource, our time, for a liquid currency. We then take that currency and immediately trade it for depreciating assets. Cars that lose value the moment they leave the lot, clothes that go out of style, and technology that becomes obsolete in 18 months. This is a linear path. In a linear system, your wealth is capped by your hours. If you stop working, the engine dies. The money stops flowing. To build $1 million portfolio, you must undergo a radical psychological shift. You must move from a linear mindset to an exponential one. The wealthy do not focus on saving what is left over at the end of the month. They focus on buying assets that produce cash flow or appreciate in value while they sleep. Let's look at the brutal reality of the numbers. If you're earning a standard salary, let's say $60,000 a year, and you save 10% in a traditional savings account, accounting for the average rate of inflation, it would take you over 150 years to reach $1 million in purchasing power. You would be dead long before you saw the fruits of your labor. The system is intentionally designed to keep you liquid enough to remain a productive consumer, but never invested enough to become a true owner. To break out of this cage, you have to stop viewing your salary as a way to maintain a lifestyle. You must start viewing every single dollar as a wealth soldier that you're sending out into the battlefield of the global market to bring back more dollars. If you spend those soldiers on a steak dinner or a designer bag, they are gone forever. If you invest them, they reproduce. Phase 1 of our blueprint is the high-efficiency savings rate. Now, I want to be very clear. You do not need a $200,000 salary to become a millionaire. However, you do need a savings rate that would make the average consumer uncomfortable. While the average American saves roughly 5 to 7% of their income, the millionaire on a budget must aim for 25 to 35%. This sounds impossible to many, but that's because they approach budgeting backwards. Most people pay everyone else first. They pay the landlord, the utility company, the credit card company, and the grocery store. Then, they look at the crumbs left in their account and call that their savings. The professional approach is reverse budgeting. You treat your investment contribution as your absolute highest priority bill. It is the mortgage on your future freedom. Before you pay for a roof over your head today, you pay for the life you want 10 years from now. If you can't live on 70% of your income, you don't have an income problem. You have a structural optimization problem. This often means making the big three decisions correctly: housing, transportation, and food. If you drive a 5-year-old Toyota instead of a brand new leased BMW, you've already won half the battle. If you live in a modest apartment instead of a luxury complex with a pool you never use, you've secured your future. These aren't sacrifices, they are strategic trade-offs. You're trading a temporary feeling of status for a permanent state of freedom. Now that we have the capital, where does it go? Step 2 is asset selection. You must ignore the noise of the 24-hour news cycle. Do not look for the next big stock, and do not try to time the market based on geopolitical headlines. To reach $1 million, we rely on the most successful wealth creation engine in human history, the Total Stock Market Index Fund, or an S&P 500 ETF. Why? Because picking individual stocks is a loser's game for 99% of investors. Even professional hedge fund managers consistently fail to beat the S&P 500 over a 10-year period. By buying an index fund, you are owning the 500 most profitable companies in the United States. You are betting on human ingenuity and the collective drive of the global economy. Historically, the market returns roughly 7 to 10% annually when adjusted for inflation. This is where the magic of compound interest enters the room, what Albert Einstein reportedly called the eighth wonder of the world. Let's run the simulation. If you can optimize your life to invest $1,500 a month, which is achievable for a couple on a standard salary or a disciplined individual, an 8% return, you hit the $1 million mark in approximately 22 years. If you start at age 25, you're a millionaire by 47. But here's the catch. The first 10 years are agonizingly slow. You will feel like nothing is happening. You will see your balance go from $10,000 to $20,000, and it won't feel like wealth. This is called the boring middle. This is where 90% of people quit. They see the market dip, they get bored, or they decide they'd rather have a new car now than $1 million later. But for those who stay the course, the growth eventually becomes vertical. Your money starts making more money than your labor does. That is the tipping point. Step 3 is the part most people overlook because it isn't sexy: tax-advantaged arbitrage. Taxes will be the single largest expense of your entire life. If you're earning a standard salary, the government is taking a significant cut before you even see your check. If you invest in a standard brokerage account, they will take another cut when you sell your assets. To accelerate to $1 million, you must use a wealth shield. This means maximizing your Roth IRA and your 401k. In a Roth IRA, your money grows completely tax-free, and when you withdraw it in retirement, the government gets zero, not a single cent. If your employer offers a 401k match, that is a 100% immediate return on your investment. There is no stock, no real estate deal, and no business venture on earth that offers a guaranteed 100% return on day one. If you aren't taking the full match, you're literally throwing away free money and handing it back to a multi-billion-dollar corporation. On a standard salary, tax arbitrage is the equivalent of a $15,000 a year pay raise that is invisible to the IRS. By lowering your taxable income and shielding your growth, you shave years, sometimes an entire decade, off your timeline to $1 million. Is the difference between retiring in your 50s or working until you're 70? If 22 years sounds too long for you, we apply the accelerator. This is the Magnates strategy. This is where you move from passive investing to active wealth engineering. The first accelerator is human capital. Your salary is your primary engine. If you spend $5,000 on a specialized certification or a high-value skill, like data analysis, software sales, or project management, that nets you a $20,000 salary increase. That is a 400% return on investment in the first year alone. If you take that entire $20,000 raise and pour it directly into your portfolio, you don't just reach $1 million, you reach it 5 to 7 years faster. The second accelerator is expense neutralization, specifically through house hacking. Housing usually consumes 30 to 40% of a standard salary. If you buy a duplex or a house with extra rooms and rent them out, you can effectively live for free. When you eliminate your largest expense, your savings rate doesn't just go up, it explodes. You're now playing the game with a massive advantage. You're taking the money that would have gone to a landlord and using it to buy the landlord's assets instead. Building $1 million portfolio is not a mystery shrouded in complex algorithms or insider info. It is a simple, repeatable equation of discipline, time, and tax efficiency. The standard salary is not a life sentence to the middle class. It is the raw fuel for your exit strategy. The reason most people never see these numbers in their bank account isn't because they didn't earn enough. It's because they lacked the conviction to stay the course when the market was red or when their neighbors were buying brand new trucks they couldn't afford. Wealth is the subtotal of every impulsive purchase you chose not to make. It is the quiet accumulation of power over your own time. $1 million isn't just a number on a screen. It is the ability to say no to a job you hate. It is the ability to spend time with your family on your own terms. It is true autonomy. If you're ready to stop working for money and start making money work for you, hit the like button, subscribe for more pragmatic financial deep dives, and leave a comment below with your current savings goal. Let's get to work. I'll see you in the next one.